Hey guys, I know it's been like 2 weeks since I last vlogged. I know I don't exactly have an excuse this time, but I'm so glad that I haven't vlogged because, dude, it was just announced last night that freaking Sony and Marvel have made a deal after like 2 months of speculation, after all that hacking from those North Koreans, and now here we are in February, and we've got the confirmation from Sony and Marvel that Marvel will be co-producing a spin-off film, and as a result, we're going to have him show up, a new Spider-Man show up in Civil War next year, potentially. We don't actually know yet. They haven't said yes or no, but odds are it's probably going to happen, so it's exciting. And I've got my buddy Nick here. You guys probably know him for Brick Fair and numerous other vlogs that I've done with him since. There he is, right there, my dude Nick. Yeah, man.
Yeah. I'm happy, man. I'm super happy. I woke up this morning and it was like, oh my god.
Now you'll forever remember that it was me who told you that Spider-Man's going to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay, first of all, you were about to spoil me with text, so I wanted to check on Twitter. Okay.
Anyway, so the first half of this vlog, I'm just going to be talking about the announcement for Spider-Man, and if you guys want to check out things I'm working on, definitely skip, like later on in this vlog, I'm going to be showing off my Arkham Knight, some Age of Ultron stuff, and some other cool things that you can check out toward the end of this vlog, like I said, but for right now, we're talking about Spider-Man, and so number one thing that really disappoints me about this is Andrew Garfield is not going to be this Spider-Man, and they're, I assume, canceling the Sonyverse that they were trying to develop because apparently The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was enough for Sony to just be like, okay, we're done. Everything's done. Drop the whole idea, because now we're saying goodbye to, I mean, I'm assuming they haven't said yes or no. Some people have even said Sinister Six might be happening, Nick, still, which sounds unlikely at this point, because now we don't have the, they're not continuing with the Spider-Man, so why are they going to continue with that Spider-Man's villains? So I doubt Sinister Six is going to happen. I assume a Black Cat movie was going to happen, with some female characters, like there was a rumor about that, a female-led spin-off movie for this new, for the Sony Spider-Man universe, and that's probably not going to happen. Venom's probably not going to happen. It's like, it's not exactly a loss. Like, I would much rather see those villains in the MCU than I would in Sony's, idea of what those movies should be. So that's really good. It's just Andrew Garfield doesn't deserve this. I mean, granted, he's already like 31, but I mean, it was his performance that made those movies work. He was such an amazing Peter Parker, and I know some of you guys might disagree with me on this, but certainly way better than Tobey Maguire. And I think that, the first Amazing Spider-Man, I had such great memories with my friend Austin a couple of years ago when we went to go see that, and actually it was almost 3 years ago now. And that was I thought Amazing Spider-Man was awesome for a great, origin, reboot, start to a new franchise of Spider-Man films. But then The Amazing Spider-Man 2 last year, I will never go as far as to say it was a horrible movie or that it was a bad movie. It was an okay movie. It was slightly below average. Electro probably didn't even need to be in the movie. There were various different things about that movie. It was way too, Mark Webb allowed Sony to control things way too heavily, and he basically, it seems like Mark Webb lost control of that film, and, a bunch of things didn't work out, but it was Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone's performance that really held those two films together, and given that they cut that off at the end of the film, spoiler, it's understandable why they came to this decision. But I mean, Marvel has had their screw-ups in the past, like Iron Man 2. They were, their third film was a screw-up, and they didn't just drop the Marvel Cinematic Universe just because it wasn't, critically acclaimed. But just because, I guess, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 didn't make as much money as they wanted it to, they just said, okay, done. Let's join Marvel. You can't beat them, join them. But, yeah. So, Nick.
Yeah.
Speak words while I think of more.
Marvel also, because of this, had to shuffle their film lineup. So, yeah, I do have the new film lineup for Marvel's Phase 3. So, on May 6, 2016, it's Captain America Civil War, still the same, and Black Panther and potentially the new Spider-Man will...
What happened? Nick is dead! Crap! Wait, no, we got him back. There he is. Okay.
Okay. Alright. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is still coming in May of 2017. The new Spider-Man movie has taken Thor 3's release date of July 28th
Not good
of
news.
2017.
Not good news for my mom and sister, because this will make them very sad that they have to wait longer for the next Thor film.
Okay, but Thor Ragnarok is still going to come out on Black Panther's original release date of November 3rd, 2017.
My cat's taking a shit or peeing, one of the two. Just wanted to throw that in there.
Okay. Then Avengers Infinity War Part 1 is still going to come out on May 4th of 2018. Black Panther was moved to Captain Marvel's release date, and that's July 6th, 2018. Then Captain Marvel is coming out on the Inhumans original date, so November 2nd, 2018. Avengers Infinity War Part 2 will come out May 3rd of 2019. And then the Inhumans will conclude this lineup on July 12th, 2019.
We're done? Okay. So, basically, it seems that Marvel was like, even after their press event, they were just like, okay, we got Spider-Man, push everything, aside from Infinity War. And, so, I mean, that's good. I'm glad. It's just, still, man, the fact that Andrew Garfield's getting booted, it's just such a shame. But I mean, regardless, if I were to pick a certain, actor, I would probably say Logan Lerman. He's probably the best name that I've seen show up. And also because Sony also said that they're looking for a younger Spider-Man, so Logan Lerman is like, what, 10 years younger than Andrew Garfield, I think?
So he's like
20,
20,
25 maybe? 21? One of those two ages. God, that stinks! Mighty Cat of Fatness took a dump. But, yeah, so there's a lot that can happen here. I mean, first of all, we've got the whole concept that now Spider-Man could be in the Avengers Infinity War. And originally, I was totally against this because it's like you're gonna bring him into Civil War and then immediately throw him up against Thanos a few years later. It's like, I wasn't totally okay with that, but apparently they're going to be giving him a solo film as well, which is super awesome because that's the sound of him getting his ass wiped. That's a thing. So it's really good news that he's going to be in these 3 films, but the fact that it's going to be starting with Civil War, and that probably means he's not going to get an origin film or an origin story, and that's okay because I think, given the fact that this reboot is happening only 2 years, 2 years it will have been since The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's like I don't think anybody needs the origin story. I mean, it's already it wasn't too long ago since we last saw the first Amazing Spider-Man film. So I mean, I'm totally okay if they just skip the origin, like apparently they are doing for Doctor Strange. But I mean, I really feel like now Marvel should have taken their press event and just waited it out until after this Spidey Summit, so that now they could have done that press event in Los Angeles. And granted, I'm really glad that we got all the news that it was going to be happening. And, it's nice that we got all the entire film slate sooner rather than later. It was clearly back then, a few months ago, it was just a response to DC announcing all their films. But it's like, imagine if they did this announcement now, and that's how they announced this whole Spider-Man reboot for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If they announced it at that press event, you would have had the announcement of all of those films: Black Panther, Inhumans, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and 2, and Spider-Man, and that would have been amazing. But unfortunately, I guess they didn't know if it was going to happen or not. So, yeah. One other thing is that I don't know. I just totally lost my train of thought. But this is still really exciting. It's just, once again, Andrew Garfield does not deserve to just be kicked off to the side. Originally, I said that I wanted them to at least do Amazing Spider-Man 3, give him a solid trilogy, and then consider throwing him into the Marvel Cinematic Universe with a new actor. It's just, it's okay, and I'm glad that he's going to be with the rest of the Avengers in future films, but we're forever going to remember Andrew Garfield only getting 2 films, and that really sucks, because once again, he just does not deserve that. I think he deserved at least 1 more film, but then again, you would have missed the opportunity of Civil War, potentially even an Age of Ultron, and credits cameo, if they have that plan, if they can squeeze that in fast enough. You wouldn't have had him in his solo film in 2017, Avengers Infinity War, because as it was, Amazing Spider-Man 3 was already scheduled for 2018, so you would have had to throw him into the Infinity War that same year. That wouldn't have worked, so this is all great, just at the expense of Andrew Garfield, and I'm so glad that this is all happening. It's just, God, that sucks. So Nick, closing thoughts on Spider-Man joining the Amazing Spider-Man now being canceled, and Spider-Man joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe and all that stuff.
Personally, Andrew Garfield seemed too much like a hipster for me. He didn't really capture the nerdy Peter Parker that I like.
Screw you.
Hey, I'm not talking about Tobey Maguire.
Yeah,
right?
that was bad.
I'm not talking about
personally
Spider-Man 3. No, I'm not talking about Spider-Man 3 Tobey Maguire. That was just weird. But I kind of do want someone that is a bit more nerdy. So, if they can do that with this new actor, my predictions is that the new actor is going to be announced at Comic-Con this year. And then maybe potentially if they have some after scene in Age of Ultron, it'd be kind of like Tony Stark holding a press conference. Then they kind of like zoom out, and then you see the side of some guy's body, and like something like he reaches for something in his pocket or whatever, and he has like a press badge. It's like a Daily Bugle.
Okay, too many words.
Sorry, too many words.
Yeah, holy crap. But yeah, that does sound like it would be a cool concept, but they already did their reshoots, if I'm not mistaken, so I don't really see how they're going to fit this in like 3 months.
True.
So,
the Galaxy took forever to produce, and they got it.
Yeah, so the films that are not being moved for this inclusion of Spider-Man were not, Doctor Strange, Civil War, and Guardians 2 are all coming out on their same dates, and then everything...
and Avengers.
And then Avengers Infinity War afterwards is the only thing after this solo film with Spider-Man that's not being merged. So everything else, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Inhumans, all being moved, and Thor 3, Ragnarok. So, yeah, I never thought I'd be doing this vlog and actually talking about Spider-Man joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I thought Sony was too stubborn. I didn't think they were going to do it, honestly. And so, once again, I'm glad, just also sad at the same time. So... yeah, I think now it's probably time for me to start talking about those things that I promised, things that I'm working on, and things that I have been doing in these past 2 weeks. So the Sky Does Minecraft and Captain Sparkles showcase went up finally, and that is now a thing on my channel. If you guys want to check that out, I've got the minifig scale Sky Does Minecraft, and I did finish him since my last vlog. I painted his torso and the back of his torso, and I painted a butter sword for him, so he's in the showcase along with Captain Sparkles, which I'm pretty sure you guys have seen in my last vlog. Maybe not, don't know, but showcase up, check it out. Age of Ultron sets. I should mention to you guys right now who are excited for them and looking forward to them and plan on picking them up. They are now being ordered by Toys R Us warehouses. You call your Toys R Us, you give them the UPCs, and they tell you, they told me anyway, every Toys R Us I've been calling practically, that the Age of Ultron sets are all being ordered by Toys R Us warehouses all over the freaking US. So that's really exciting, and that means we're going to be getting the Age of Ultron sets within probably the next 2 to 3 weeks at bare minimum. So that means I'm going to be freaking out with doing these reviews. I really want to get all those sets reviewed as soon as I can so that I can immediately get to work on upgrading those minifigures and taking components from them to add on to my own upgraded versions of them. And I actually got a body already going for Vision. His hands are not actually final, and nor is the head. That's why I'm trying to hide it. But that will be the body that I plan on painting, and I've got the tan capes in from Cape Madness, and for example, like I'm going to be using Lego's head and hands, but then painting my own torso, legs, and the cape, and you guys know how it works. I'm basically going to be taking the parts that I think are inaccurate and or unnecessary. Who knows what I'll end up changing. I have a few ideas, and a lot of concepts. I've been thinking about it for a while, so as a matter of fact, I do actually have a pretty solid plan as to what I'll be painting for the Age of Ultron minifigures. You guys know all this. I've actually already started on Black Widow's arms. I started on Scarlet Witch's arms. I painted Scarlet Witch's face already. And also, I have not been working on the new Captain America or Iron Man recently because I did really want to finish up those, I really wanted to finish up Sky Does Minecraft. And then also, I have been working on the Achievement Hunter minifig scale customs for a super secret project, which will be revealed later on. And so I've got Jeff finished now, painted his torso and the back of it as well. And then also I've got Ryan done. I've got Ray is done, and then also I've just finished Michael as well, got his legs in, his pair of yellow legs, and then also Jack I'm working on next, got to paint his torso and sleeves pretty soon, and then Gavin, I have pretty much the entirety of the head, a fully realized creeper head in minifig scale form, way better than the one LEGO was able to provide us, because obviously they had to use a base color of inaccurate green while just printing on the face, which is fine, but unfortunately you guys know the legs are frozen in place. So that still kind of sucks. I actually built the first night, even though unfortunately I was unable to review this awesome set. I ended up having to build it for my Sky Does Minecraft and Captain Sparkle showcase video, and I say it's an awesome set because it's actually, the interior I think is actually pretty awesome. But that's not really relevant. That was relevant a few months ago and it's not relevant anymore. But yeah, creeper head. Did not paint the back. Gotta do that still. And then I gotta paint his torso and all that stuff. But Achievement Hunter minifig scale customs are officially coming, and those will be done probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks, at least I hope. And yeah. So, why were Sky Does Minecraft and Captain Sparkle's not finished sooner? Once I started on Reverse Flash and the Age of Ultron customs, I kind of had to push them off to the side, but they are up on my channel now. And then the Arkham Knight, who is currently missing an eye and his hands, I am working on, and the helmet and the chest actually have a bunch of three-dimensional elements, and he's actually turning out pretty awesome. I gotta say, painting the eyes, painting the entirety of the face has been a real challenge, because just getting the personality, sort of, I'm not really sure if personality is the right word, but just the general concept of the Arkham Knight's face, like the front of his helmet, it's so unique, and you have to get it right. Like the slightest, you know, like if the eyes are too thick, if they're too long, if you know, the details around the eyes aren't correct, it's just like been one hell of a mess for me trying to get everything to look right. So, Arkham Knight, I realize I probably just kind of threw that in your guys' faces, but if you guys have been following my Twitter, Bookface, and the Instagrams, you probably would have already known that I am working on the Arkham Knight, so I am going to be painting on that other eye so I can do a preview photo to post on those platforms. So, that's a thing. Star Wars sets, those are still back there, some of them anyway. I still have the Sith Inquisitor set and the Shadow Troopers set to review if I end up having to, but I don't plan on really reviewing too many more sets anytime soon. I mean, I might try to review a few more of the Winter Wave, but I think it's about time that I say I tried. And I reviewed all the DC sets that I wanted to, so that's good, but Star Wars-wise, there's just too many. And given the thing that my family and I have been, the situation we've been in since January of 2014, it's not really realistic for me anymore to be able to review 20 sets in 1 month. It just doesn't happen. So that's why I tried to prioritize whichever sets I thought were worth the review. And I mean, things like the ATDP I did want to review. As a matter of fact, I actually, a month ago, I recorded the entirety of the ATDP review. I ended up scrapping all the footage because I recorded it really early in the morning and screwed everything up. But that was a while ago. Now, one thing I do unfortunately want to break to you guys, I don't know, and Nick, this is the first time you're hearing of this, I don't know if I'll be able to review the Helicarrier anymore. So my cat has diabetes, and I unfortunately have to put out, or I had to put out that money for, or at least I tried to put out the money for my cat's insulin, and that was unfortunately the Helicarrier money, and then those funds ended up getting diverted elsewhere. So now I'm still trying to get my cat some insulin, and because he has diabetes, like I said, and so basically I still have the required funds for the Age of Ultron sets. That is like my absolute totally off limits funding. I'm not touching that, and unfortunately I did have to jeopardize the Helicarrier for the sake of personal things, and this is just one of the many things that has been happening to me over this past year, since, you know, everything kind of went to crap. And so it really all started in July, but unfortunately the circumstance is still going on, and it is pretty personal. That's why I don't really go into detail a lot, but unfortunately it has come at the expense of the Helicarrier, and I've been trying to find alternative methods to actually getting the set and reviewing it for you guys once it does come out on the 17th, but if not, it's probably, the review might be delayed, or it might not happen at all. And that really sucks because it's a massive set. It's the biggest Marvel Cinematic Universe set ever. It's going to have the Age of Ultron components, so I'll be able to use those minifigures and get working on Cap, Black Widow, and Hawkeye early. But unfortunately, if things don't pan out, the review will not pan out either. And so that unfortunately kind of sucks, and yeah, Helicarrier. I thought in the analysis video I said that I am confident, I've got everything, I'm prepared, I'm ready to go, and then something came up, and that being my cat and bills, and so didn't happen, and didn't go my way anyway. So, yeah, Arkham Knight, went over that. Achievement Hunter figures, I think I've pretty much gone over everything that I wanted to discuss in this vlog, man. So, yeah, despite the helicarrier sadness, I still will be reviewing and getting the Age of Ultron sets as soon as I possibly can. The second they show up, I will be there. So, yeah, that's still the positive side of things. But regardless, guys, I think that is it for this vlog. Spider-Man already getting a reboot, only 2 years after The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and now Sony and Marvel are finally collaborating. I know those of you guys are probably like, no, Marvel didn't get the rights or anything. I'm fully aware of that, and I'm just still excited regardless of what kind of creative control Sony still does reserve. I'm just glad that he's going to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, even though it's not Andrew Garfield. So, yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna like make the thumbnail for this vlog so I can go watch The Flash and Agent Carter tonight, because those two series have been awesome. And yeah, man.
Gorilla tonight.
Oh yeah, more Gorilla Grodd. We got to see a glimpse of him last week. We're gonna see more of him. That was awesome. Those visual effects for that were actually pretty good, but it was in the dark, so now I'm just kind of curious what Gorilla Grodd on the CW will look like if he's going to be out in the daylight. And was that kind of a spoiler that I said that Gorilla Grodd was on the show? I posted a Gorilla Grodd photo, and then a bunch of people were complaining that spoiler. It's like, watch the damn show. No, but really, I apologize for that if that really ended up bothering you. But I think that's it, guys. Yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Okay, Nick, say goodbye.
Bye.
This has officially been my longest vlog in 2015 so far, so I'm going to end it now. I probably forgot something. I'll mention it next vlog. I'll catch you guys later. Okay, bye!